This is the example program inheritance.cpp from your Canvas. So this is the video that goes along with it. So inheritance is a way that you can set up a class, and then you can set up more specific versions of whatever it is that you're working with as you go, and they inherit from your original class. So that's kind of confusing. So let's take a look at this as a general example. So we've got a virtual pet that we're creating. So this is this pet class, so class pet. It has private data, which is the pet name, the age of the pet, the weight of the pet, the color, and then the type of the pet. And then it has a series of public member functions. So it has a constructor, a default constructor, a parameterized constructor, and then it has get name, change name, get age, increase age, get weight, get color, get type, and change type. And these are all set up pretty much the standard way. So live with the default pet, you'd get pet name is Fido, age is 0, weight is 1 pound, color's orange, and then pet type is goldfish. So orange goldfish named Fido that was just born that weighs 1 pound. And then if you use the parameterized constructor, then you can pass it the pet name, the age, the weight, the color, and the type of pet. So let's imagine though that if we had cats, maybe we would want to add some variables on top of our pet class, or some things on top of our pet class. So we're going to define class cat, and then we're going to say that it's a child of pet. So we'll do colon, and then we'll do public, and then pet. So it's going to have access now to everything that was public and pet, and it's going to have access to all of the variables that were private, except that it's not going to be able to change any of those variables directly. So it has them, but they're sort of hidden from it, and you'd have to go and change them on the original, through the original class. But let's see how this works. So this one doesn't have any private data, but under public we have a hair length, we have a boolean, true if it's a tabby, false if it's not a tabby, and then we have two constructors, just a default constructor and then a parameterized constructor. So in the default constructor, it's going to change the name to Big Cat. So wait a minute, where's change name though? It's not here. Well, change name is all the way back up here with pet. So that got inherited, the public part of pet got inherited into cat because cat was a child of pet. A hair length, we can set that to short. Hair length was something that we defined within cat. And then tabby, we can set that to true, and that was something that we defined here within cat. And then if we're using our parameterized constructor, we'll get the hair length here passed to it, and the tabby, true or false, passed to it. So let's look at and see how would we manage all this stuff in main. So we've got a string set up to catch the response from the user. So we prompt the user, welcome to Pet Creator. Let's go ahead and run it while we're stepping through this. So welcome to Pet Creator, would you like to create a pet? Now it's going to read this into a string. So this is one of several ways that you could deal with strings. This is a different way other than what we dealt with getLine previously. So we're going to just read the whole lot. We're going to read the first set of characters into response, but we're only going to look at the very first character of response. We're going to convert it to uppercase if it's not already an upper, and then we're going to see if it's a yes. So would you like to create a cat? A cat. We'll say yes. So it goes and it creates the cat, and then it gets my cat. Your cat's name is my cat.getName. Okay. let's look again. Where is getName? It's not in cat. GetName's up here in pet, and so that's the part of stuff that got inherited into cat, even though we're accessing it through cat. Then it says, do you want to change your cat's name? Sure. What's our cat's new name? Let's say Tiger. So let's see how it changes the name. So we've got mycat.changeName, and then we can do response. So mycat.changeName, let's see where mycat.changeName is. ChangeName was a public that belonged to pet. So let's look at some ways that we could do this where it's not going to work and why it's not going to work. So pet name was a variable that belonged to pet, but it was private. But let's see, well, my cat is a cat which inherited from pet. Could I just change pet name directly? Try to run it. No, it's not going to let you do that because it was private on that parent class. So it still exists with the child class, but you can't directly access it through the child class. You have to go back to something that's public with the parent class. Let's also look up here with cat, where we have our constructor, and we've got this pet name is equal to big cat. Let's see if we could change it within the cat class itself. Maybe that would allow us to access the private part of pet. And sure enough, no, it will not. So again, you have to have it set up to where whatever you're going to use is in the public part, so that that gets inherited as usable in terms of your functions. Your data, you can still keep it in private, but just know that you'll have to have a function that'll allow the child to be able to interact with that private data. So let's think about a couple examples where you might want to use this. Let's say you're developing a game. So maybe you have a class enemy that has just a few common things and common functions that all enemy sprites will have. And then you could have a whole set then of child classes of enemy that inherit everything from enemy, but then also add certain layers on top of enemy. And you can continue to add children as you go. So there's a lot of different applications of this. This is something that we're just barely scratching the surface on in this class. If you really want to program a lot in C++, this is definitely something that you'd want to take a look at going a little bit further into, because it's a really powerful concept and allows you to really reuse your code and build on your code a lot as you go. Thanks for watching.